I don't normally have controversial takes, but this might be my first on here. I think that pronouns in video games should not exist. And here's my reasoning. Be this my opinion, I do want to talk about it. I just saw a video from Asmongold called Pronouns Are Dead. From what I grasped in the first couple of minutes, this has to do with a gaming company that was under some heat for applying pronouns into the game. I don't think that everything in the entire world should be able to represent someone. Let that sink in for a second. I don't think everything in the entire world needs to be able to mesh with you and who you are as a person. If I play something like Slime Rancher, I'm not upset that I am not currently a Slime Rancher, so this game does not align with me. If I play Stray, I shouldn't get upset at the fact that it's a cat in the game and it's not a human. I don't think that I should have to go through a menu in the beginning of a game and select he, him, they, or whatever people decide to pick now. In real life, that's your own thing. That is you. You are putting on your front of who you are and what you claim to be. I mean, that'd be like saying that you want to play a Lego game and at the beginning of it, you have to choose a pronoun. I'm gonna watch Asmon's video here. I'm gonna see if there's anything that I agree with, disagree. 3 minutes, 43 seconds into it. Thought I would record this. We're just gonna see.
I don't think Bioware has the right intentions.
I feel bad for a person dumb enough to think that a for-profit, publicly traded company ever had your best interests in mind. You got completely hoodwinked.
I don't think Bioware is on my side. They never were. Look, I know in your head you think I hate you because you're trans or whatever, but that's not it. We just don't see eye to eye because we are fundamentally different people. But I don't like seeing anyone get blatantly manipulated. And you and everyone who became Bioware's sword and shield during the Veilguard marketing cycle got played hard. Companies don't care about you. Studios don't have your best interests at heart. They only care about money. And for years, slapping a rainbow flag on their profile and throwing a trans flag charm in an FPS game made them money. Not anymore. Now you've been dropped like a sack of hot potatoes and you're surprised. Everybody should be aware of this at this point, right? Like, unless the company is constantly putting up some support for a group of people, if they set it for the months or the time frames in which it is a pride area for that, then it should be blatantly obvious. If a company sets something to support them as on their social media and then never says anything about it the rest of the year, I imagine that common sense would lead you to understanding that they do not support you all the time. And as a corporation, its bottom dollar is the bottom dollar. Its main concern is profit year after year after year. That's how every company is, ever increasing, expanding that margin between profit and loss. So it makes sense to me that a game that would be losing a lot of money in something or not see the benefit in having some support for a group would drop it. It makes sense. I'm not saying I necessarily support it, but it does make sense from a business and purely business standpoint.
Completely fucking accurate. Absolutely, that's what's happened. They never cared about you. You were always just being duped into buying something, and that's it.
Something that I just thought of while he was saying this was if you are a company, if you niche down, you are creating a product for a specific group of people. If you didn't see potential income from this, I'm sure that a company, like I mentioned earlier, would not apply the ability to purchase something in support of another group, whatever group that may be.
I've always found it really bizarre and pathetic when parts of the LGBT community fall for overt rainbow capitalism.
I just mentioned.
Bro, don't you realize that you're being treated like a tool? Like Activision Blizzard getting like SA lawsuits and then they're like suddenly, oh hey, check out our new Pride merch. Of course, there's also the
Yeah, it's like, yes, we had people drinking breast milk at the company, but did you know that we had...
Oh my God, I did not know that.
There were a number of self-proclaimed LGBT content creators that were propping Veilguard and Bioware up because, hey, this game has such great representation. You know, they let you pick a few different pronouns in the character selection menu and give you one scar option specifically for trans men. You know, nothing for trans women and no neo-pronouns, none of that stuff. But, you know, hey, Bioware did the absolute bare minimum.
When it comes to the people that are targeted by these specific forms of so-called support, I have personal experience in dealing with someone that is like this, that I lived with for a short amount of time. There are a certain group of people that fall underneath these marginalized categories that also fall under different categories, such as unemployed or just based in an echo chamber. This comes purely from my experience, so I'm going to give you a little bit of that, of course, without naming this specific person. But there was a person that would fall underneath a lot of this and could easily be one of the people that falls for something like this. This person that I lived with stayed at home all the time, had a fear of going outside. Political things were their main source of interest to an unhealthy point. The amount of times I heard Hassan talking inside both the living room and this person's room were absurd. Now, there were signs of obvious issues leading up to this, but this person was the target audience, sat inside of an echo chamber, staring at Twitter, staring at political things all day, obsessed with the pronouns, the labels, the groups. And when something like this would happen, I'm sure right now, wherever they are imploding, blowing up over literally everything. I remember the crazed look in this person's eyes when anything of political magnitude would happen. So I can imagine they are rolling wherever they're at currently. If you fit into this category, I want you to be aware. For me, this situation is more about bringing awareness. If you are someone that falls underneath the like unemployed or chronically online, these terms that people use as a sort of cliche, if you do fall underneath these terms and you do fall underneath a category that has been supported by video games, please keep a watchful eye. Don't let them twist you into supporting them. You, in turn, if you support them, could be giving your money to an organization in which does not actually support you, thus doing the opposite of what you'd like, which is funding a corporation that doesn't have your best interest at heart. I don't understand why any of this is in video games. People don't play video games for these kinds of things. They play them to escape the world, to get a little bit of enjoyment. You don't watch a movie in hopes that every single character has something that applies to you. If I did, I would not be watching any movies. This does circle back to what I was saying of not everything needs to align with you. There are opposites in the world, and you just have to learn to accept those. That is a normal part of being a human being. This is like the same thing as generalizing people. If you don't like a specific person and then you generalize it out, that is an issue. If you can't accept differences, that is an issue. In this day and age, people can't accept differences, and I think everybody's trying to become one singular entity rather than male, female, etc. It's okay to have a little bit of representation here and there, but it doesn't need to be forced everywhere. That just doesn't make for good content. You don't need to have a video game that has one of every single type of person known in existence, because if you don't do that, someone's not going to be happy. This is like the video that I made where people were getting mad that in Assassin's Creed Shadows, because you could destroy a religious area. It is a video game. This goes back to the same thing. It is a video game. This is media. It is meant to be consumed. It does not extend to be a part of you.
People ate the slop right up, never questioned anything, fell for everything. Yeah, I'm sure you all get the point. Kind of preaching to the choir here. Let's just roll the clip.
Trump will make video games great again. He needs to appoint me as video games are.
Oh my God, could you
and
imagine?
I'll make it illegal to have body type 1 and 2 in your game.
Oh my God, President Asmund, man.
It's just a lot. It's just a whole lot. Because now I'm in a position where I don't think Bioware is on my side. And that's...
Side note, after they said the whole thing of Bioware is not on my side, it's weird to think that a corporation will be on your side to begin with. Already touched point on that. Media is meant to be thrown out into the world, and the people that find it enjoyable enjoy it. If they decide to put some monetary value into it, you gain some monetary benefits from that.
I'm in a position now where for the first time, I don't think Bioware has the right intentions.
I love how the implication is that the right intentions, like they didn't even say that you know, like my intentions, it's the right intentions, which is like the presupposition that my intentions are the right intentions, right?
Exactly what I mentioned before, the whole thing about if it doesn't align with me, it's bad. Accept the differences. Move on, go about your own life. People are worried about the wrong things. This is another thing that I've mentioned in a previous video, where people are getting upset about the wrong things. It is the exact same video that I talked about before with the whole Assassin's Creed issue. People are getting mad about the wrong things. You're getting upset over pixels on a screen when you should be upset about the lackluster things that are happening in your life as a whole. Take a right step in your personal life to ensure that you positively impact yourself and those around you, and things will get better across the long run. Do not look to pixels on a screen to get upset. That is blatantly just disregarding yourself and the people around you.
BioWare's on my side. This corporation's got my back. Like, what the frick? Because if the current take is no longer feeling that way, it's implying that Unifade did feel that way before.
Yeah.
It's technicalities wrapped in technicalities, and it's led to talented people losing their jobs.
Oh
I don't know
my
what that says.
god.
Going to say that I'm sure that a lot of people, and I've seen this too, that a lot of people are blaming me for this. I'm
Have
going
the
to keep
self-awareness
doing
to
it.
realize that. Because no, these people didn't lose their jobs based on technicalities. The game massively underperformed. The executives were too scared to even release the official sales numbers, so they tried to get away with just being like, oh, the player count was 1.5 million.
There's
And
more
even with that
information about
padding of
that.
the phrasing, they still had to admit that it underperformed by around 50% of their expectation.
Yeah, mixed. Let's take a look here. I've just installed the game. Solid the name of what used to be my favorite video game franchise, Dragon Age. The Veilguard has disappointed me on so many levels. As a fan of Dragon Age playing from Origins, I am used to a game which allowed me to choose how I want to play it. Also made choices impactful, with repercussions of choice showing later in the adventure, even spanning to later titles in the franchise. Dragon Age Veilguard threw all of that away, making a grand total of 2 choices from previous games that mattered. Not to mention that almost all of the dialogue has no impact on how the game plays out. You can almost just close your eyes and pick what your character says, and the outcome would be the same. The original Dragon Age series gave me choice, letting me adventure and with the companies I liked, throw away the ones I did not, and never forced me to sit through tedious and absolutely hair-ripping scenarios of side quests and characters I did not like. Veilguard makes you keep every single companion, forces you to see them in quest you don't even bring them along to, and even worse, implores you multiple times to make sure to do the optimal side companion quest lines for every companion so your party will not be strong enough to face the final battle. This review alone would keep me from playing this game. With all these other things that they've tweaked on it, I could see why the player base would drop so drastically.
Continues trending downwards all the way to mostly negative. But hey, the people that lost their jobs, it was just because of technicalities.
They didn't get fired because they were gay. They didn't say, all right, who here likes sucking
Who? Raise your hand.
Okay, everybody, all you guys just raise your hand. All right, you're done.
Could you imagine?
That's how it works.
Dragon Age the Veilguard previously reported 1.5 million figures of sales. Apparently includes player count of Play Pro subscription services. So it's not even people that actually bought the game.
Probably it was much lower than that. So funny. Yep, there you go. The victim mentality is out of control. I think that my videos and the stuff that I said about these games did have a profound impact and negatively impact the game. And I take a tremendous amount of pride in that. I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to do it to more games too.
So with Asmon's take on this, I could definitely see how when he says that he's going to make more videos about this and talk about this so that it impacts games, I see how somebody could negatively interpret that as, oh, well, Asmon's saying that if it's not his way, it's the wrong way. I think that people can speak for the majority. Asmon and I have some things that are, aligned pretty well with each other. I think that we both are under the core impression, like I've stated many times in this video, that these kind of things shouldn't be in games, period. If it's going to be that big of an issue, then just do what he said. Body type 1, body type 2. That's fine. I actually at one point was looking at playing this game, and after hearing all of this, seeing the reviews and reading a couple off screen, I don't think I'm going to. Use video games to escape the world around you for a little bit. It's entertainment for a reason. You shouldn't expect to be supported in every aspect of your personal life through entertainment. You're putting power in the media company's hands aside from the entertainment value, and that's just something you shouldn't do.